Hello everybody, welcome back to my channel, Dash for Cash. Guys, it's been a while since I've done a video. I want to welcome you all to my channel. I hope you guys will subscribe, like the video. I'm going to give you some heart-to-heart, no holding back on DoorDash and what it's like to be a Dasher in the Houston and surrounding areas. And I also want to first start out by saying congratulations to Pedro DoorDash Santiago for his 10,000 subscriber. Enjoy your videos. Came in just before you. Got busy. I couldn't agree with you more. Invest in yourself. Do the side hustles and don't let anybody tell you things cannot be done. And just keep doing what you're doing. Going to cover a lot of ground today, and I hope you guys really get a lot out of this video. I've had a recent experience. It was in the suburbs of Houston. Had a very unique experience. I got an order, and it gave me the amount of money. Let's just say it was $4. Had no miles on it. Told you nothing about it. Just said, let's just say it had the restaurant and the amount. So let's just say it said Mario's $4. Okay. Of course, I don't know where it's going. Have no clue to where I'm driving to. You're looking at the little screen and you don't know if it's 4 miles or 16 miles. Okay. So of course I hit decline. I called customer support, and I can't make this up. I'm going to give you verbatim. You know, I may try to condense it, but I called up DoorDash support. The lady says, I said, I'm not getting the miles. I need to know where I'm going. And she says, I'm sorry, sir. This is to prevent, and I quote, cherry picking. This is to prevent cherry picking. You won't get the miles until you accept the order. I said, I can't accept an order where I don't know where I'm going. First of all, I may not want to go to that area. I may not want to go those miles. And of course the pay isn't any good, you know, so I mean, this is wrong. So we had a long discussion. Of course, I'm calling the Philippines. I'm getting these, they're talking down, saying, you know, they're trying to prevent cherry picking. In her words, I wish I had it on speaker. I wish I had it on recorder. I kid you not. I have no reason to make this up. This isn't my full-time job. This is a side hustle. And I'm just totally disappointed. And as soon as we hung up, guess what? The miles appeared on the next orders, on all the orders. Okay. I ended up continuing to work throughout the day. And that was that. So a week later, today, as a matter of fact, October 7th, I believe, Thursday, I decided I want to go door dashing. And lo and behold, I get the first order. It's a chicken place, Raising Cane's. Of course, I won't do it because they have a red card. They don't tip, and they have no miles. No miles. So I called DoorDash support. She wants to troubleshoot. I said, ma'am, she puts me on hold for a good 5 minutes. I, at that point, started heading to home. I'm not going to work for a company that cannot even tell you how far you have to drive for the pay. At that point, you're not an employee. You're not a contract labor, you're an employee. They're not even telling you what you're doing and where you're driving to. And they're running commercials in our area, in the Houston area, for dashing. They make it sound so easy. And it's not difficult, but the pay, if you don't know what you're doing, if you don't go on YouTube and watch videos, I go and do a lot of talking to drivers while we're waiting for pickups. And I guarantee you, when I say some, probably 10% of the people do not know about the decline and cherry picking. They take the orders. Some decline them on the miles, but there's so many new dashers, and there's so many people desperate for a paycheck. And I'm not trying to be mean, but I'm going to just say it. They're a lower IQ individual. If that offends you, I'm sorry. I try to tell them to watch the YouTube videos and watch the people. A lot of them don't speak English. A lot of them don't are foreigners that don't really get it. They're hungry for the American dream. That's fine. Call me spoiled, call me a cherry picker, but you know what? If it doesn't make money, it don't make sense, and you have to get the wear and tear on your car, the miles, and your time. So some nights it's just not going to be good to go out there and work. So I called customer support today, and she told me she's going to troubleshoot the app. I said, ma'am, I'm going to be honest with you. I've already played this game with DoorDash. It's another Tony Xu show and tell. You know, it's another game. Tony, the storyteller Xu, with his $1 billion apps and his $1 billion food delivering service, doesn't care about you guys. They do not care. When you talk about going on strike and you talk about declining and you talk about that, yes, the only way you'll ever get over on, I don't even want to say get over, but the only way you'll make money and profit is by cherry picking and declining orders and going on strike. There was a young guy, and I'm not going to call him out, but you know, there's a couple of people I really respect: Pedro DoorDash Santiago, Pete from Paid to Drive. You know, this young guy comes up there and he does just a horrendous job of bashing Pete from Paid to Drive, and I'm not going to call him out, but you know, he knows nothing about business. He has a finance channel. He's a dumb kid. I don't care. You know, I used to like his videos till he got all over Pete and the way he critiqued his videos. Let me tell you something. I'm going to give you Business 101. Again, I'm not talking down to you. I've owned my own company, been very successful. I DoorDash strictly to fund certain things. And like I said, I haven't been doing this for 4 or 5 months. I'll try to do it if I can make some money, cherry pick and make some money. He says, you know, he tells Pete, and I'm not putting words in his mouth, but it's all about the drivers. Let me tell you something. I'm going to go back. I can talk about my business. If I don't have the labor that can do the finished product, you don't have a company. You can have all the sales you want. You can have all the distributors you want, but if you don't have people out there getting it to the customer, you don't have a company. Plain and simple. I don't care what you want to say. I don't want to hear about little drones flying things around. I don't want to hear about this crap about drivers aren't this or that. They have endless amounts of labor is what they have. They run a few commercials in some markets, big markets like Houston, Texas, and yes, there's desperate people out there to make a buck because you can work your own hours and you totally get it. But they don't take into account how much gas costs. They don't take account their time, the miles, and what they're doing to their car. You know, I've seen a lady that was begging for some coaching as a DoorDasher and a mentor. She's driving around in a 2-year-old Mercedes because she has to try to make some money. She's tearing her car to shreds. And she was an older lady. She was probably in her late 50s, maybe early 60s, retired from a job. My point is, she had no idea about cherry picking and about the miles and everything. Again, I'm not an expert at this. I know how to diagnose an order. I know how to dissect things. And I'm going to tell you right away, without drivers, DoorDash has nothing. But when you have endless amounts of labor, and I'm going to call it unskilled labor, yes, you have to have some knowledge of certain things, but basically we're unskilled labor to them. You know, we're out there. They could never afford to go buy vehicles like an Amazon to deliver their products. We got to understand this isn't difficult. Without drivers, they have nothing, zero. And you guys are going to do what you want to do. These immigrants and these people that are over here working for DoorDash at all hours, and these people, you know, they're hungry. They come from different lifestyles. I'm not going to say their standard living is susceptible to being taken advantage of, and it's better than where they're from. It's plain and simple. If that offends you, then I offend you. And you want to leave nasty comments, I really don't care. I know what it takes. I know what it takes to run a business. And gosh, that's the bottom line. When you have abundance of labor, you're taken advantage of. When you're unskilled labor, you're taken advantage of. And you say, well, what do you mean? Nobody's holding a gun to your head. Absolutely. That's why I've been off for the last 3 or 4 months. And that's why I revisit it at the time that I do it. But that young cat that comes out there and preaches his finance, I'm not here to put you down, but you just don't get it. Without the delivery, nothing matters. You got to get the food to the customer, plain and simple. So you're wrong, sitting there bashing Pete. Pete, keep doing what you do. Nobody cares about that young cat. Moving on. DoorDash is a game company. They do not care. Okay? You mean nothing to them. You mean nothing to them. In the customer's support's own words, we're tired of cherry pickers. Well, I'll be damned if I'm going to drive $3-4 for 16 miles and it leaves you out in the middle of nowhere. If somebody from another country wants to take that order and can't figure it out, hey, more power to you. But you're going to get burned, and I'm not going to get burned. I'm not driving out to a food desert. I'm not driving out to this is the way I talk. I'm not trying to be defensive or mean or angry. I'm trying to help people. That's all I'm trying to do, is help people. And you're not going to make any money by taking an order where you do not know the miles. They give you time to look at the map. You can't find out how far that is. Okay? You cannot find out how far it is. I don't care how you try to blow it up on your thing. You just aren't going to do it. But it's so funny when I called customer support, they all of a sudden, the miles came through all of a sudden because I told them it's wrong. I want to know where I'm going. They're opening up themselves for a suit. And, do not feel sorry for Tony Xu. He's a slime ball. He's a slime ball billionaire. And I'm sure there's others. I only work with DoorDash, so I can only speak for the slimy Tony Xu. I'm all for doing it if he'll allow us to make money. But, he cut the pay from $3 to $2.25 or $2.50. What's it going to be next? $2? Let me tell you something. And people don't tip. Screw them. You cannot afford your time and your car, and your miles are worth way more than driving somewhere for no money. I promise you that. You hear all these YouTubers, they all put out these videos. They won't subscribe to your channel. They want you to support them. They want all the people to sit there and come to them and worship the ground they walk on because they have some subscribers. Let me tell you, I hope you guys subscribe to my channel because I'm going to start getting back into giving videos, and I don't respect Tony Xu. I don't care how much money you have. That's the way he treats people. I have contract labor that works for me, and I can never insult my contract labor by offering them some ridiculous amount of money. I mean, starting thing of $2.50. There's certain people that have no business ordering from DoorDash. There's certain miles and limitations that shouldn't even be discussed and sent to drivers. Okay, let's understand that. DoorDash, the company, does not care about you people. Okay, so that's why they use the term cherry pickers like you're doing something wrong. No, you're just doing something that makes sense. If it doesn't make sense, don't do it. Would you mow a whole entire football field for $4? Would you? I'm just being honest. Would you supply the equipment, the gas, and everything? Because I'm just saying some of this stuff is ridiculous and it's insulting. And I've seen a ton of videos. I've seen a lot of people make the same videos, and they're sitting there trying to say, well, nobody's forcing you to work for them. Absolutely, nobody's forcing you. They have an abundance amount of labor. That's the problem. It's so saturated that some dumb driver, I don't care if that offends you, because that's what it is. If you're taking an order where you don't even know where you're going, the miles aren't even there. It's just funny how when I complain, the next order, by the time I got all customer support, it all went to miles and distance. So you could make an educated guess on what you want to do. I would never, that's why I'm not dashing tonight. I didn't turn back on my app after I got off the phone call tonight because I had no idea where it was going. She said, go to a hotspot and see if it's working now. You know what? I said, ma'am, with one flip of your switch or wherever you're at, you can make the miles appear. You're just it's a game with DoorDash. It's us versus them. They don't respect you as a driver. They don't care about you. Okay? If you're happy working for them, then you must be in just the most incredible market. I have been in some great markets where I've drove, but I have to refuse to work when I don't even know how far I'm going, whether it's 16 miles or 4. Well, they're going to say, well, Dash for Cash, can't you look? No, you can't, because they're a connive. That's the way Tony's DNA is wired. He's a conniver. He is a conniver. He's cheap. Let me tell you something. If this was run by myself as a company, they would say, boy, that man there is a horrible, horrible, horrible person. The media is not going to call him out. Nobody's going to call him out. I'm calling him out because he's a cheap, no good, you know what. Oh, you're such a mean person, Dash for Cash. No, I'm not. No, I'm not. There's a certain thing. There's certain people that are just, he's exploiting drivers and taking advantage of people desperate for a side hustle because the hours are doable. It takes no skill. A lot of people can do it. Okay, I do it. Like I said, just for the side hustle, just for the side hustle. And I used to do really well at it. And I don't need the money. It doesn't mean anything. But I'm not going to be exploited. I'm not going to be taken advantage of. And I tell other dashers all the time. And I did what Pedro DoorDash Santiago did. I'd ask the people, do these orders get picked up? This one for 14 miles to go out in the middle of nowhere? I know where it was at. Who does that? I mean, it's just ridiculous. And here's my point. If they cared about you, they would have cutoffs on where the orders can be taken from. There's certain restaurants that just can't go that far. But Dash for Cash, you don't understand. Somebody's going to do it. Yeah, some fool's going to do it. You're right. Does that mean it's right? Absolutely not. And if you're not tipping, you don't deserve to be on the app. This is an industry and a business and a side hustle where you're working for tips. If you can't tip, and I don't care if you're feed to death. That's the cost of ordering your food and having somebody bring it to you. That's the nature of the business. You know, that's just cut and dry. I have a business that I run, and I got to take into consideration my delivery and my labor. And you know what? I have to tell customers, no, I don't go to that part. It's not economically feasible to do. You know, and I have contract laborers that tell me, no, sir, I can't go out there for you. It's too far. Well, what if I charge an extra $25? There's certain people and there's certain places you just can't deliver to without making it worth the contractors worth his while, and that it's economically feasible. And if you're in the middle of nowhere, guess what? You unfortunately have to pay for that. It's a service. Plumbers come out, they don't give anything free. I'm not saying we're that type of service, but we are that type of service because we're using our own vehicle. We're using our own everything. Okay? So, let me see what else I want to cover. Okay, if you're not cherry picking, there's no way you're going to be successful in this business at all. I'm trying to encourage you guys. We should form a strike. We should all start turning down orders. And they won't, because there's just so many people out there doing this. So many. And that's not a bad thing, but I'm just saying, until we are all on the same page, we all are in agreement that, hey, we're tired of being exploited. We're tired of Tony Shoes games. So the lady actually used the term cherry picking from customers for driver support. She actually said that you'll find out where you're going to go after you accept the order. That sounds like an employee-employer relationship. You know. Now let me tell you something. If you want to give me a DoorDash vehicle to drive around in, you want to give me so many orders that you're going to guarantee me on an hourly rate, I'll deliver all day long for you. You give me a gas card, you give me the orders, I'll take 116 miles on your nickel. You better believe I'll drive the wheels off your car. I'll take every single order you give me. But you're going to give me an hourly wage, and you're going to give me a vehicle and a gas card. Okay? And so many of you people are so far up Tony's, you know what? It's not even funny. You got to realize he will stick a knife in your back and smile at you as he's robbing from you people. Okay, you got to understand, Tony Hsiu is not a good person. He is the devil. He's trash. And his company, you say, well, Dash for Cash, why would you want to work for somebody like that? You know what? Because I don't take orders. I don't look into getting burned. And I, like today, I went home after I took 3, 4 orders with no miles on it. I just went home. I don't need it. Okay. But if you're going to give me some orders that are decent, 8 miles, I mean, 2 miles, 3 miles, 4 miles, and the pay is worth that, then I'll do it. But guys, there's certain things you have to say no to. Okay. And Tony Hsiu, you're exploiting people just like your DNA is wired to do. Okay. I guarantee you, Tony, you could easily get a job running the Nike factories, the Adidas factories, because that's how you're wired. You're wired to step on people's spines and to just be the evil person that you are, the immigrant that came to America, second generation, and you're going to show the world you're a billionaire. So what? There's a lot of billionaires. Just because you're a billionaire doesn't mean you know and have values, because if you did, you'd tell the customer, A, you have no business. We have no business going out to your area. B, you're not tipping. When someone has to put a 0 tip, that's a slap in the face. You know what? That's a slap in the face. And those people, I feel sorry for you guys. But I'm no Tony Hsiu fan. I could care less about him. I could care less about anything that he does. I hope the company goes broke, because the model is broken. It needs to be fixed. And one of these young guys out here says, well, he's smart enough to do all these algorithms, and he's smart enough to know how to exploit unlimited labor. As long as there's unlimited labor and people willing to do this, you have it made. Okay? If you think I'm talking hard and you're upset, I really don't care. I don't really care. If it doesn't make money, it doesn't make sense. And for all you people that want to sit there and talk about how great you guys have it, there's certain markets that are great, but there's certain markets that are so saturated, they don't care if you take the orders or not. And like I said, I'd love to have y'all leave this in the comment section. Do you get orders that do not have miles attached to it? It just has the pay and the restaurant. It doesn't tell you anything about the miles. It doesn't tell you 6.2 miles for $7. It doesn't tell you anything. It just point blank, restaurant and pay. And let's face it, for every person that tips nice and treats you well, there's 12 that don't. I mean, that's just the facts. Guys, please subscribe to my channel. I'm going to do a lot more videos. I have experience in this. I can share a lot of stuff with you that I see out there, and I'm gonna share everything that we do, and I'm gonna share some live feeds. And Pedro, congratulations, good job. Pete, you just keep doing what you're doing. Don't let some young snot-nosed punk sit there and tell you otherwise and sit there and talk down to you. That video sucked that he did. I don't even remember who it was. He's irrelevant. Just a kid trying to build a YouTube channel. And who isn't trying to build a YouTube channel? That's not the point. The point is, if he can sit there and bash somebody that's speaking the truth, he's irrelevant. Guys, please subscribe. I hope you enjoyed the video, and I'll have many more to follow.